Well, let's stay with the issue of the Durban Beaches, and ActionSA is taking the eThekwini municipality to court. So 8 months after the floods in the province, raw sewage continues to run into river systems and the oceans, they claim. The party says this amounts to a failure of the city's constitutional obligations. Well, let's get the views then of ActionSA. It's the KZN chairperson, Zwakele Mcwango, joining us this morning. Zwakele, good to have you on eNCA. Appreciate the time. So now the issue we've got is a conversation with two sides to the coin. We even had eThekwini Mayor in the water last week showing it's perfectly fine to swim in the sea. You're saying it's not. Which one is it?
Yeah, it was very shocking to even see the mayor doing that demonstration in an attempt to mislead tourism sector. We also want tourism to grow in eThekwini. We want to see more tourists coming to eThekwini, but not at the expense of health and safety. You know, it was shocking to see the mayor going there, knowing very well that about 30 million litres of raw sewer it's spilling over the sea from Umhlanga River, because of Umhlanga pump station that is not working. And the truth is, some of the beaches are not tested regularly as they're supposed to be, especially during this time where we know that we had floods, we had infrastructure problem, and we have sewer in our beaches. Some of the beaches are opened. There's a test done by independent company, a tabloid. This company found that more than 3,000 CFU per 100 mil in Umhlanga Beach, where the deputy city manager was demonstrating as if he was swimming. And also the country club, the beach was opened by the city, saying it's safe to swim. It's sitting at about more than 800 CFU per 100 mil. And also Battery Beach is sitting at more than 500 CFU per 100 mil. And you know that you need to have less than 500 CFU per 100 mil to say it's safe. Even that, you need to at least to be closer to less than 100. But most of the beaches that are open are still more than 100 CFU per 100 mil, which tells you there's a challenge we have in the city. But also must understand that for city to have really, to say it's safe, you need to ensure that there is no sewage spilling to the sea. Currently, you have sewage spilling in different parts of eThekwini to the rivers, and all these rivers connect to the sea. For that reason, as ActionSA, we definitely went to court because we believe we have engaged with the municipality. They're not prepared really to resolve this problem. And also, the city must take full responsibility. For 8 months, you can't fix infrastructure. What exactly they are doing? We declared disaster in this country, in eThekwini especially, and there was 1 billion allocated by the president, of which, yes, we know, they're not telling the truth where that 1 billion, even the province, can't tell you where the money is. But also, eThekwini was allowed to deviate and readjust its budget because of a disaster. But they are not talking about money now. They are now suspending a head of supply chain. They are blaming one person over the entire crisis. The big question is, where was the executive committee? They have a responsibility to run the city on a day-to-day basis. Here, one must blame all parties. That include ANC, EFF, IFP, DA, because they sit on executive committee and they are doing nothing for 8 months on this crisis.
Are you saying at this point, as we are now 5 days into December, that if, based on what you're suggesting, Zwakele, that the mayor of eThekwini is going to intentionally endanger people's health this Christmas season in KZN? Is that what you're telling me?
Definitely. I can tell you the mayor and the city, they are being reckless. They are pushing tourism, which is good, but at the end of the day, this is a question of health and safety. This is a question of livelihood. And we want people to come to eThekwini, but we don't want to be part of a situation where there's an outbreak. Because we talk about bacteria here. You know, you can test water today and you find a low E. coli. But the truth is, it's moving from north to south and from south to... There are many factors that dictate on the movement of current. And current can move overnight. The because of factors can be gravity, it can be wind, it can be water sensitivity, so water density. So all these challenges can then lead to E. coli changing overnight. So you can't then say it's safe in these beaches. And I can tell you, some of these beaches, when you go there, I can assure you, on Monday last week, I went to Battery Beach. I raised an issue that the last time they tested water quality was on the 15th or the 18th of October. And when I raised the issue in November, they just went there and changed the date. They never changed the indicators of E. coli. So that tells you the city is deliberately misleading the people. Because
let me ask you this, Zwakele, you give me the numbers. Let me just ask you this before I say goodbye. Give me the list of names, if you can, of the main beaches, the big swimming beaches that you're worried about for this December. I want to try and see if we can't follow up with this company you're talking about, also get our reporters in the area onto it. What are the main beaches that you're worried about in KZN?
The main beaches that are concerning at the moment that are opened is Umhlanga Beach, Country Club, and Battery Beach. Those are main three beaches with a really high E. coli. But also, even the North Beach side, I can tell you that it might be sitting at 199 CFU per 100 mil, but maybe today it's changed, because yesterday it was 199. So it changes now and then. This is why we are saying the city, in fact, should be testing water on a day-to-day basis, because we know there's still sewer spilling over the sea. So definitely we must keep checking, because the city currently is testing every 2 weeks. That's really unacceptable. And you can't really say you must go and swim when you know it's not safe to swim.
We're going to follow that up, and I appreciate bringing this to our attention as well. The views of ActionSA that these beaches in KZN, the main beaches, Bantry Bay and Umhlanga, for example, are not safe. Levels of E. coli too high. We are going to follow up as well. But I appreciate the time. From KZN, ActionSA Chair Zwakele Mcwango joining us this morning.